Welcome to my workshop. In today's video I'm going to be comparing the new table saw from Evolution, the R255TBLX, and the very well known Rage 5S. I had a lot of requests after my last video tuning up the new table saw to actually compare it a little bit to the old Rage 5S with regards to the size, the features and what exactly has been improved, and also if the stand from the Rage 5S will be able to take the new table saw. As they are in the upright position, to be fair, the size of them is more or less the same. Obviously, with my Rage 5S, I have permanently attached a router table on it, so it will be higher. However, the size right from the floor itself to the tip of the handles from the stand is about 114 centimeters, and it's more or less the same on the Rage 5S. I know that space in some workshops, especially the single bay garages, is at premium, hence it's important information to know how much space these machines will take. So for example, the depth on the new table saw, we're looking about 65 centimeters, however that is not including the blade. Whereas in the Rage 5, well, you're looking at about 58 to 60 centimeters. So the new table saw will take a bit more space when it comes to the depth, and that's because of the wheels that are a little bit bigger. How wide this machine is? Well, in the case of the new table saw, I'm actually going to measure from the wheels, and that's about 74.5 centimeters, whereas the Rage 5S, we got about 73. Now let's talk about the cut capacity of both saws. Both of them actually do have different types of fences. So the Rage 5S does have this very standard fence that locks from the back and from the front. However, the new table saw does come with a rack and pinion type fence. And to be absolutely honest with you, after some time of using the new fence, it's definitely a lot better, not only by quality but actually accuracy as well. With these type of fences, there's always a room for error, plus these type of fences are actually not that easy to adjust straight away. You do have two bolts right at the top, but sometimes that is just not enough to make it parallel to your blade and the miter slots. However, with the new table saw and the new fence system, it's actually so much easier to get it set up correctly, and you don't have to mess around that much, and it's so much easier to get the fence and the miter slots and the blade parallel to each other. Now, if you are interested in how to actually tune this new table saw, what steps you need to take, I've got a full video covering that. You'll find a link to it down below in the description of this video, and possibly in the pinned comment as well. But let's get back to the sizes of the tabletops and the cut capacities. This is the furthest position for the fence to be on the Rage 5S, and the cut capacity in this case is about 61.5 centimeters. However, the Rage 5S also allows you to extend the left side as well. And now on the left hand side to the blade, we've got about 50.5 centimeters. So overall, the maximum size of the table is 121 centimeters wide, and back to front we've got about 72.5. And as you can see, the tabletop itself of the Rage 5S is absolutely massive when you fully extend it. So how does the new table saw compare to that? Well, let's have a look at it. That's it, it's not gonna go any further than that. And the fence itself is located on the black pin, so that's the furthest position it will go. And now the cut capacity here from the fence to the blade is just over 65, probably about 65.5 centimeters. So the cut capacity on the new table saw is actually larger than on the Rage 5. However, the left hand side does not extend at all, and the maximum space over here, we've got about 32 centimeters. Now, a lot of you have been interested in actually how high the tabletops are, and I have to report that the Rage 5S is a little bit higher. So for those tall people, for example like me, it's actually a little bit easier to work on the Rage 5S. And the height over here with the stand, we've got about 93 centimeters, whereas on the new table saw we've got 90 centimeters. So it doesn't seem like a massive difference, 3 centimeters. However, over time, if you do spend a lot of time with your table saw, you will feel it eventually. With the Rage 5S, I never had to bend over it, or I was just straight up using the table saw, whereas here I do have to lean over a little bit. My back is not straight up. So yeah, it all depends, what's your height. I'm 186 centimeters tall, so that will give you a bit of reference. But I have to say, for most of people, the new table saw height will be absolutely fine, and you won't notice that much the difference. Now, I had a ton of questions from you guys with regards, can I use my old stand from the Rage 5 with the new table saw? And I had so many comments asking, what's the distance between the screw holes in the stand? So on the Rage 5, the distance more or less from the middle of those bolts, we got about 52 centimeters. Whereas on the new table saw, the distance between those bolts is about 61 centimeters. So the spacing is different. However, you have to remember that, well, these are just metal pipes and you can pre-drill new holes without any issues. So that's actually not a problem. But the problem is how deep or how wide these stands are. Well, the new table saw is about 49.2 centimeters, whereas the Rage 5S is at 55. So you're gonna have issue with actually marrying up the new table saw to the old stand. But it's simple to fix. You can quite simply just attach a sheet material to the stand itself, 18mm ply, MDF or anything like that, and then bolt the new table saw on top of that. So using the old stand should not be an issue. Let's talk about the improvements and the features the new table saw has over the old Rage 5. And first one, absolutely massive, is the clearance plate. In the old Rage 5, that was one of the worst pieces on this tool. It flexed like crazy. It's just made out of plastic, and to be absolutely honest with you, to safely use the Rage 5S, you do need to make your own clearance plate from plywood or anything else, as this is just dangerous to use. And therefore I am super happy to inform you that the new table saw does come with a metal plate that doesn't flex, it stays in place, and the quality is absolutely fabulous. And on top of it, you do have a very easy system to actually make sure that this plate is level with the tabletop of your saw. Another improvement is the blade guard. Now this one is from the new machine, and to be absolutely honest with you, it's the first time I'm actually using a blade guard in normal day-to-day operations, as it just works and it's fantastic. It makes sure I'm not sprayed with sawdust. You do have an outlet for the shop vac hose, and thanks to that the dust extraction is a lot better, and it just works. Regardless if you're doing 90-degree cuts or 45s, this blade guard works. And unfortunately, I can't say the same thing about the Rage 5S. The blade guard here was horrendous and you just could not use it safely. Another huge win and huge improvement of the new table saw is the fact, finally, the miter slot at standard size. So if you've got a third-party miter gauge, and to be fair, you should get one, as the one that's supplied with the machine, with the new table saw, is as bad as the old one. To be fair, they're probably the same. You can finally use third-party, high-quality miter gauges with the new table saw, which is absolutely impossible to do with the old Rage 5S. Check that out, how much that's sticking past the tabletop, okay? It's just not fitting at all. There is actually another model of this table saw which comes with the Plus. So it's R255TBLX Plus, okay? And to be absolutely honest with you, I would only recommend that saw for the additional bonuses that you will get. To name few extras that you will get with the Plus version, one of them, for example, is the outfeed rack that you can pull out at the back of the machine, and that's super important, especially when you're cutting out longer pieces. Absolutely brilliant. On top of it, with the Plus version, you will also get a soft start on the table saw. Whereas, as we all know, starting your Rage 5 is bit of a nightmare. It just starts like a jumbo jet, and sometimes it was just scary. Hence, I've actually installed a soft start module onto my Rage 5, and then it was, you know, usable. There's also a bit of a difference when it comes to power, okay? The motor in the Rage 5 is 1500 watts. The standard version of the table saw that I have for the new one, it's 1600 watts, just above, and the Plus version will deliver 1800 watts, so you do get a lot more power. I also want to mention the overall quality of the table saws. The new table saw, the quality, the fit is definitely far superior than the Rage 5S. And actually, I got in touch with quite a lot of my viewers that already do have this table saw, and some friends from the business as well. And there's hardly any reports of any major issues with the new table saws when it comes to the flatness of the table, for example, fit, or anything like that. Sure, there are some minor problems here and there sometimes, but nothing major like we have seen with the old Rage 5S, where the tabletops were not straight and level, and there was a lot of issues there. So yeah, from the quality perspective, I have to say the new table saw is definitely far better. And another absolutely massive topic where it comes to the Rage 5S was the dust extraction. Basically, it did not exist on Rage 5S. Whatever you did, whatever solution I've applied, the dust was just bad. It was just flying all over the place. Not only you were sprayed with sawdust standing in front of the saw, but also you were gathering a massive pile underneath the machine and behind it. It was absolutely tragic. And I'm happy to inform you that the new table saw, if you're using the blade guard and you've got your shop vac connected to the blade guard, and from the back, the dust collection is not an issue. Sure, you will get tiny amounts of sawdust on the table, tiny amounts underneath it, but that's absolutely nothing comparing to the Rage 5S. For me, the dust problem is solved, and I've got no issues with that whatsoever. Massive improvement. One thing that I'm actually going to be missing from my Rage 5S is the ability to install a router table with my table saw. You know, for spaces that are small, congested, it was a perfect solution, as you can fold up the saw up, and then actually basically on the same footprint you are getting two major tools. Whereas with the new machine and the rack and pinion type fence, it's just not possible to do. Both table saws still come with the sliding table. However, the quality of that is far superior on the new table saw. There's absolutely no movement in the sliding table as you had on the Rage 5S, which was really prone to a lot of shift left to right. The fit wasn't perfect, but on the new table saw, at least in my case, it is. These are the most important features I just wanted to quickly cover in this video, as I had a ton of emails and questions and everything else. I probably missed something, so if you do have any more questions, you know where the comment section is. However, at this point, would I recommend anyone to buy the Rage 5S, used one at a really low price? Well, no, you will get a little bit disappointed. It's a great saw, don't get me wrong, but it does come with some flaws that, well, you would have to rectify with some jigs and everything else. Where it comes to the new table saw, there is no shortcuts, there's no issues. Everything seems to be absolutely fine out of the box. Sure, you have to tune it up, and actually that's one of the great advantages as well. It's so easy to tune this saw up, okay? To make sure the blade is tracking correctly, to make sure the riving knife is in the correct place, to make sure that the fence is parallel to the miter slots. Everything is super easy to change, amend, to make sure you will get perfect cuts each time. However, I would still not recommend, that's not recommend, my version of this saw. I would only recommend the Plus version. Guys, it's a no-brainer. More powerful, adds a lot of features, soft start, outfit support, and many others, okay? It's a no-brainer to get the Plus. On top of it, if you are in the market of actually getting one, and I think the difference between the normal version and the Plus version is something about 50 quid. Hey, I've got a discount code for you. That's 10%. So you'll get that 50 quid back, okay? The code is casual, so you just need to input that in the checkout on Evolution website. I'm going to leave some details on that down below in the description of this video, so you can go ahead and check that out if you are in the market of actually getting one. And I do fully recommend the Plus version. It will definitely meet the standards that you are after as a DIYer, but also as a professional, okay? If you're working on a job site, it's light, it's easy to move around, and it will give you fantastic quality. If you set the saw up, okay, for example, following the steps that I've made in my last video about this saw, how to tune it up, then I'm pretty certain you will be able to make accurate cuts for cabinetry or any other very accurate, precise work. This saw just works. And there you have it, guys. Very quick comparison of both of the saws. I hope it brought you some information and some knowledge. As we are heading to the end of the video, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to my Patreons for the ongoing support. And before you go, check out these two playlists here. Plenty of fantastic videos for you to watch. Click on those and maybe you'll find your next video. But for today, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.